The air smelled like fake pine and warm plastic. Cold lights blinked, out of rhythm, like an eye with a twitch. A carol cut out mid-chorus, leaving a silence that didn't belong to December. Footsteps didn't match my own. My phone buzzed like a trapped insect. AirTag found moving with you. Holiday cheer turned into an empty storefront, and I knew someone, somewhere, already knew where I was going. It was late November 2024. I was 18 and had been walking the Walden Galleria in Buffalo for hours. Victoria's Secret, Zara, Sephora, 3 bags digging little crescents into my fingers. I sat on a bench near the giant tree the mall puts up every year. Carols echoed off glass and tile. Stores were shuttering one by one. He sat beside me, older, thin, a washed-out Santa Claus. He cracked a joke. I laughed politely. He said he'd been coming to this mall since it opened and was scared it would shut down. "You look like my daughter," he added, showing me a photo, a girl about 18 who looked like neither of us. I stood, smiled, said goodbye. I didn't look back. Home was 10 minutes away in a cul-de-sac with 2 other big houses and a grassy roundabout of trees. Just before the driveway, my phone vibrated. AirTag found moving with you. Every muscle went cold. Instead of pulling in, I circled the roundabout and rolled down the street. I triggered the AirTag sound. The beeping came from my Sephora bag. I dug in and pulled out the little white disc, nausea rising like heat. I tossed it out the window, U-turned, and went home. Garage down, door locked. I called my brother Cody. "If anyone shows up, call me," he said. Stone cold for 2 words. Then the alcohol returned to his voice. The doorbell rang. 3 hard knocks followed. I tiptoed to the foyer. A shape through the textured glass. "Hey, Ashley, I think you have my AirTag," a man's voice said. Him, the mall Santa. He claimed he dropped it by accident. I said nothing. Accident or not, he'd followed me. That was the only truth. I called Cody again, turned on the TV to bruise the silence. Something shifted at the edge of my vision. Nothing there. I tried to believe he'd left. Then the same voice, right outside the living room window. I love it when they play dumb. I looked up and he was pressed to the glass, smiling, tapping a single finger. "Don't pretend you don't know I'm watching you." My hands shook so badly I could barely hit 911. I hid in the windowless office. Minutes later, I heard Cody's car. By the time he burst in, the man had vanished. The officer found nothing. No prints, no tracks in the yard. He gave me a report number, suggested contacting Apple. I tried the next day. The process was a maze of policies and forms. Weeks passed without a trace. But sometimes I see that photo in my mind and pray the girl on his phone wasn't real, wasn't someone he'd found, followed, kept. I pray she was just a stolen image and nothing more. My name is Claire. This didn't happen yesterday, but it hasn't faded either. I'd moved to a mid-sized city for a promotion. Tuesday evening, a soft podcast, 15 minutes of small-town traffic. My phone buzzed. AirTag found moving with you. I told myself it was a mistake. Maybe someone's keys nearby. I opened the alert. It had been moving with me for over an hour. My blood ran out of me. I parked, checked the back seat, the glove box, the trunk. Nothing. The logic was simple and brutal. If I couldn't find it, it could find me. And if it could find me, someone else could too. I went upstairs anyway. The building had decent security. You can't undrive home. That night, sleep was made of splinters. Morning, work, the notification again. I ignored it and got nothing done. That evening, I tore my car apart with my hands. When my fingers slid into the seam where the seat met the backrest, they hit something. I already knew. I carried it inside and popped the battery. A dead nickel in my palm. My hands still shook. Who did it? I scanned my history. Exes, acquaintances, half-flings. No one fit. The next night, I got home late, reached for my lock, and froze. My apartment door was standing wide open. I live alone. No one should have been there. I backed away, went to the car, called the police. They cleared the unit. No forced entry, no prints, nothing moved. A clean swipe of dread. I showed them the notifications and answered their questions. Any stalkers? Anyone with a grudge? I shook my head and felt foolish, and watched. The days quieted. I moved. The alert stopped. But the detail that gnaws is simple. The door wasn't broken. It wasn't even scratched. It was opened by a key no one else was supposed to have. I want to stay anonymous. Upper middle class suburb. Months of slow burn horror that almost ruined me. It began weeks after I broke up with my first serious girlfriend after college. We'll call her Devon. It ended ugly. My friend Zenon throws huge parties at an estate he inherited. I was there when I ran into Taylor, one of Devon's friends. She came on strong. Oddly strong. I hesitated. Not for long. We hooked up in an upstairs room. When I came out, my wallet was gone. She was gone too. I couldn't call her. I was still blocked from the breakup. Morning brought clarity. I kept an AirTag in my wallet. I opened Find My. It was active. Saturday, no work. So I drove to the Ping, a gym. As I approached, the AirTag went offline. The front desk refused to let me look around. I did a slow, humiliating lap outside, peering through glass. No Taylor. No Devon. No one I knew. I went home. The next day, it pinged a park. I hurried there. It went offline as soon as I stepped out of my car. I jogged loops like a lunatic. Nothing. The feeling that I was being observed crept up my neck and stayed. At home, I researched. Someone could be pulling the battery to flick it on and off. Whoever had my wallet was toying with me. Days of silence. I swore I was done. Then glass shattered at 2 a.m. Real fear feels like plastic over the face. I dialed 911, barricaded my bedroom door, listened to drawers open and air move. By the time the cops arrived, the intruder was gone. My laptop, monitor, a fistful of electronics, gone. Pride, gone with them. Weeks later, the AirTag pinged again, this time at a bar. I went in a hoodie, keeping my head down. Offline the moment I got close. I snapped. Accused strangers. A bouncer dragged me out and dumped me on the sidewalk. It happened again at a coffee shop. I swore I'd never open the app again. Swore for real. The knock that followed wasn't a prank. The police. Arrest warrant for stalking. Search warrant for my house. They were looking for a journal in my dresser. I told them there was no journal. They found one. Devon's case looked airtight. Photos of me at the gym, at the park, at those exact locations, the ones the AirTag had lured me to. Texts from my number to hers, weeks of harassment. Begging replies from her to stop for the sake of her mental health. And the journal. Page after page detailing her schedule and my supposed violent fantasies in handwriting that looked like mine after being run through a photocopier 100 times. Lawyers told me to consider a plea. I refused. It didn't matter. What saved me wasn't skill or courage. A guy Devin had been seeing turned himself in. He confessed she'd given him my AirTag, passed to her by Taylor after Zenon's party. His job was to draw me to public places, kill the AirTag when he spotted me, and take photos from a distance. Their texts showed more. Devin planned to plant evidence in my home. She'd made a copy of my keys when we were still together. That's why there was no forced entry during the burglary. She took my laptop, she knew my password, and planned to use it to send herself the harassing messages, then claim I'd deleted them. Breaking in once and staging a random theft was safer, she wrote, than slipping in repeatedly to send and erase messages. When it came out, everything collapsed. Charges dismissed, but damage doesn't reset to zero. Friends faltered. Family kept their distance. My name almost stuck to the internet forever. And on nights when I power down, I swear I hear a phantom ping vibrating on the nightstand. They say some houses remember who lived and who died within their walls. On Halloween night, I learned that some guests don't check out because they never left. This is the story of Night of Rent, the night I was hired to watch over a house that didn't belong to the living anymore. I've never liked Halloween, not because of the masks or the candy, but because everyone seems so comfortable opening their doors to strangers. Still, this year, I needed the money. I agreed to watch over a rental house for one night only, hand over the keys, make sure everything worked, and stay on standby in case the guests needed anything. Easy enough, I thought. The owner even offered extra pay since October 31st was always hectic. The house sat on the edge of town, in a neighborhood where decorations grew more elaborate with each block. Plastic graveyards, fake corpses hanging from trees, pumpkins grinning under flickering lights. The one I was assigned to looked modest. 2 orange lanterns on the porch and a black ribbon tied to a wreath of dry twigs. When I arrived, the sun was sinking behind leafless trees. I snapped a picture for the owner, Mr. Ernest, and he replied with the door code, 1031#. "Text me if anything happens," he added. Inside, the air smelled of wax and old wood. The living room was wide, with a brick fireplace and a row of carved pumpkins on the mantel, unlit, their hollow eyes staring. The kitchen gleamed. I checked the water, heating, and Wi-Fi. Everything worked perfectly. The guests, a young couple according to the booking, would arrive at 9 p.m. I had time to relax, sit at the dining table, and scroll through my phone. At 8:37, a message arrived. "Hi, we're Lucia and Mateo. On our way. Could you light the pumpkins for the vibe?" "Sure." I found a lighter in the kitchen drawer and went around setting the candles aflame. As the orange glow spread, shadows danced across the walls, and something caught my eye. A number carved under the fireplace mantel, 1031, the same as the code. Just a coincidence, I told myself. At 8:52, another text. "Running a bit late. Does the hot water work? We're freezing." I went to check. The faucet hissed, then poured warm water. Fine. But when I shut it off, I heard a door creak somewhere in the house, a hollow thud echoing from the hallway. Probably the wind. Still, when I looked, the basement door was slightly ajar. When I pushed it closed, a cold draft rose from below, damp, metallic, and faintly sweet, like burnt sugar. The light switch didn't work. I used my phone flashlight, shining down the narrow steps. Dusty wood, scratch marks. "Don't be paranoid," I whispered and shut the door. At 9:05, another text came through. "Could you leave the front door unlocked?" So, We don't wake you when we arrive. That one made me pause. I'll just leave you the code. Safer that way, I replied. No response. At 9:12, 3 knocks echoed from the front door. Short, rhythmic, almost playful. I checked the peephole. Nothing. The porch was empty, the lanterns trembling in the breeze. The camera flickered, catching a low shadow darting past. Too small to be an adult. Probably kids, I thought. But when I turned back, the house felt heavier. One of the pumpkins flickered and went out. As I relit it, I heard dripping, coming from the hallway closet. Inside, the main water valve was almost completely closed, leaking through the joint. I tightened it by hand and turned around. The basement door was open again. My phone buzzed. Incoming call from an unknown number. I answered. A young woman's voice whispered, "We're at the entrance. Can you open for us?" I looked outside. Empty street. Just wind and leaves. "I don't see you," I said. There was silence, then the same voice, colder now. "We're already inside." The call dropped, and from the dark mouth of the basement, something exhaled, snuffing out every pumpkin one by one, until the whole house drowned in darkness. The phone went silent. My reflection stared back at me in the window, pale, shaking. I turned on my flashlight. The air felt thick, like breathing through fog. Then I heard them. Footsteps upstairs, slow and heavy. The guests weren't supposed to be here yet, and they didn't have the code. "Hello?" I called. The sound stopped. Silence. Then, dragging. Something being pulled across the floor above. I ran to the door and tried the keypad. Dead. No light, no beep. Then came the faint tapping from behind. The basement door. Soft, like fingers brushing wood. I pulled the curtain aside and looked out. The porch lanterns were gone. The hooks swung empty. My phone buzzed. "Don't go outside. It's cold down there." Down there? My throat went dry. Another message popped up, a voice memo. I hit play. 2 whispers overlapped. "We liked when you lit the pumpkins." A giggle. "Come see us." The screen dimmed. Then, through the crack of the basement door, a glow appeared. Orange candlelight flickering down the steps. More lights followed, forming a trail into the dark. "Lucia?" I whispered. A voice rose from below. "It's warm here." "Don't be afraid." The sound didn't come from the phone. It came from under the floor. I stumbled back, knocking over a chair. In the corner by the fridge, something stood. A figure too tall to be human, face pale as paper, eyes black and glossy. I blinked, and it was gone. When I picked up my phone, the screen lit up on its own, the booking app. But the names had changed. It no longer said Lucia and Mateo. It said the tenants of 1031 and the date of the reservation. October 31st, 1998. Beneath it, a note. They never checked out. From the basement came slow, deliberate steps. Not up, just pacing, waiting. Then came the knock from under the floor. The knocking grew rhythmic, one slow thud for every breath I took. The house moaned with each vibration, as if remembering something painful. Then my phone buzzed again, showing a video I'd never recorded. The same living room, the same pumpkins lit, and behind the couch, 2 shapes. Still, watching. The video ended with my own shoes stepping into frame. I ran to the door, typed the code again. Red light, access denied, again, access denied. Then whispers began circling me, everywhere at once. "Don't leave. Stay with us." I looked down. Small, wet footprints covered the floor, bare feet, child-sized, leading from the basement door toward me. My light died. A ringtone echoed from beneath the floorboards. My ringtone. I leaned closer to the door. There, in the flicker of candlelight, stood Lucia and Mateo, or what was left of them. Pale faces, black eyes reflecting fire. Lucia smiled. "You lit the pumpkins for us. Now we can come back." I ran. I don't remember how I got outside, just the sound of footsteps chasing me and whispers turning into screams. When I looked back, the house was dark again, empty, except for two silhouettes watching from the upstairs window. The next morning, the police found nothing. No candles, no carvings, not even the pumpkins. The officer shrugged. Old house. Bad wiring. Happens every Halloween. But it didn't stop there. Every October 31st at 8:37 p.m., I get a notification on the same booking app. A reservation request. Same names, same message. "We'll arrive at 9 p.m. Could you light the pumpkins for us?" If you felt that chill, imagine living through it. What would you have done if you heard those footsteps under your floor? Comment your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story so others can feel the fear too. Until next time, lock your doors, check the basement, and whatever you do, don't light the pumpkins.